Let's bring in New York Stock Exchange President Stacey Cunningham. Stacey, good to see you. Tell me a bit about direct listings and your expectations here, if you have any, for Roblox. I mean, we've seen Palantir. We've seen a number of significant names choose that as the way to come public. This is yet another one, an important one, I would think, for the NYSE.
Yeah, thanks, David. Thanks for having me on today. It's a really exciting day for the entire Roblox community, their employers, their creators, all waiting to watch and see how Roblox opens. And they took a unique path to the public markets, which is becoming a little bit more popular as we see additional companies look to explore alternatives. And so they decided to become a public company using a direct listing. So they're not raising capital today in this moment. They didn't have an underwritten offering last night. They're having their first price established by the market maker on the New York Stock Exchange trading floor right now, aggregating all the buyers and sellers to determine where Roblox will open as a public company.
I notice, if I recall, and of course having been down there for many years as well, can it take a little longer in the case of a direct listing, or is the time to open essentially the same as for an IPO?
It does. If you think about some of the elements of a direct listing that are different from an IPO, there are fewer artificial constraints. So buyers and sellers are not limited in the allocation size or through lockups. And so there are a lot more orders coming in. A number of orders that we've been receiving so far this morning in Roblox are significantly higher than we've seen from even prior direct listings or other IPOs. So that price discovery process can take a bit longer as we aggregate all of that interest and are looking for a stable opening price. So I do expect it'll be a little while yet.
Stacey, I'm curious. I mean, this is the first sort of big direct listing that we've seen since the rules were changed, or I guess altered, by the SEC to allow direct listings with capital raises as well. I mean, Roblox was originally expected to do a more traditional IPO, then scrap those plans after the big bounces we saw in names like DoorDash and Airbnb. But they're not raising capital this time around. What do those conversations look like, especially as you are potentially courting more companies to this direct listing route with these new rules?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we got a approval from the SEC at the end of December to allow for companies to actually do an offering, a primary offering at the time of their direct listing, and let the market price that offering. What's really unique about that is it would mean that, unlike in a traditional IPO, all investors would have access to that opportunity. That democratization is really a unique and important component to direct listings. We're actually seeing that the participation in markets more broadly is investors want those opportunities. So while we received that approval from the SEC, we don't yet have a company that has, there are a number of companies that are working with the SEC on what that could look like for them. There are some components of that they still need to establish and hammer out with respect to the disclosures in their S1 and a price range for the offering that is a component of the S1 that the SEC is still working on. So we're hopeful that the SEC will work with these companies and get them to a place where they can leverage that. Roblox isn't raising money today as part of that offering, so they didn't have that same challenge to solve.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.